Now, it did happen a few months ago, but the Buccaneers signed Tom Brady. Jordan, does this make them Super Bowl contenders?
So when I think of a Super Bowl contender, I think of a team that is capable of winning a game in the playoffs. Obviously, football is in any given Sunday sport and anything can happen. We saw the Titans just absolutely bully the Ravens last year in the playoffs. So anything can happen. And given that the playoffs are being expanded from 6 teams to 7 teams per conference this year in the NFL, I think that gives the Buccaneers definitely some room to compete in that division, because I personally think the Saints are a bit better than them, just all around.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair assessment.
I agree.
I think the Buccaneers are definitely a Super Bowl contender, and here's why. Jameis Winston will have a 30 for 30 made about him one day, as we all know, for his 30 touchdowns and 30 interception season.
More like 30 and 30, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Jameis Winston also threw for 5,000 yards. So if you think about it, he was a very productive quarterback when it came to moving the football. And they were a 7-9 football team. Now take that with Godwin and Mike Evans and Ronald Jones III and now Rob Gronkowski and O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate, and you take all those weapons and you think Tom Brady in his career has never thrown more than 14 interceptions. So they're cutting the turnovers, the interceptions specifically with those turnovers, in half. And you're giving the greatest quarterback of all time probably more, if not the second most firepower on an offense that he has ever had. Yes, Tom Brady has declined. But Tom Brady last year threw 24 touchdowns and 8 interceptions with absolutely nobody. So why am I going to believe 1 year with a coach like Bruce Arians, with an offensive coordinator like Byron Leftwich? Why am I going to believe 1 year with the second greatest weapons that he's ever had, despite a little bit of decline, is going to stop him from winning? I just can't see it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are Super Bowl contenders. Whether they win, I personally don't think so, but they're definitely contenders.
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth on this because I see why everyone says they're Super Bowl contenders. I mean, they have all this talent, greatest quarterback of all time. They bring in Rob Gronkowski. They have Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. They have all this talent, but, talent doesn't always equal success. And short answer, are the Buccaneers Super Bowl contenders? Yes, but I just don't know if we can expect them to be there. They have all this talent, but these things take time to settle in and get moving and get things clicking. And yes, Brady's declined, and Jameis Winston, they went 7-9 with 30 interceptions, but Jameis Winston and Tom Brady are also different kind of quarterbacks. I mean, Winston is a gunslinger. He likes to throw the ball down the field, and Brady, especially in recent years, has been playing a little of the dink and dunk game. And I see both sides of it because, yes, they're extremely talented, but you have to ask yourself, is that talent enough? It's like the Browns last season. They had all this talent.
I had the worst take in sports history.
The Browns last season had all this talent, and everyone called them Super Bowl contenders. So on the surface, Tom Brady, also 6 Super Bowls. So there's all these different things that go back and forth. But short answer, I would have to say yes, but it's a hesitant yes. I can't say with complete confidence that they are Super Bowl contenders. I will say, though, if Tom Brady leads them to the Super Bowl, there's no disputing he's the greatest of all time. Even if they don't win, if he gets them there within these 2 years, this 2-year window he has, there's no disputing he's the greatest of all time.
Yeah, Joe Montana years ago, after his tenure with the 49ers, went to the Chiefs and got them to the AFC Championship game. And that, at the time, cemented him as the greatest quarterback to ever do it until Tom Brady won his 5th ring. But this is what I have to say to that. I agree with you. I agree with everything you're being hesitant about. But we haven't even mentioned the defensive side of the football,
That's true.
I think things get interesting, because this was a middle-of-the-pack defense last year.
Yeah.
But they're trending in the right direction. If you look at them, they have Shaq Barrett, who had an unbelievable season. They have Jason Pierre-Paul. They have Ndamukong Suh. Yes, they lost Gerald McCoy, but Vita Vea, who had a strong rookie year, is coming back. And they drafted Antoine Winfield from Minnesota, the safety, to improve their secondary. So I personally think with a mid-tier defense that's trending in the right direction, with I don't care what you say. Even last year with the turnovers, they were an elite offense at moving the football, and they're taking away more than half of their interceptions. I think this team is primed to be a contender. Now, I agree with you about the hesitance because I don't think they'll get there, and I don't think they'll win.
And I'm always just so hesitant about jumping on these bandwagons.
Yeah.
That's just me personally.
Yeah, that's always been you, as we saw with Cleveland last year.
Yeah.
And I made the worst take I've ever made, if not one of the worst. But with this, I just really feel with Tom Brady, I think they're definitely contenders and are definitely going to make the playoffs. But do I think they're going to get there? No. Do I think they're going to win it? Most definitely not. And I don't even know if they're going to get to the NFC Championship game, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, they're Super Bowl contenders in the sense that, like, they're one of the best teams in the league. I mean,
Yes.
that's
basic.
especially right now, you can't argue with that. But are they the team, can they beat the Chiefs if they play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl? I mean, I don't know. Can they even beat the Saints in their own division? We have all these questions. But that's what I love about this Buccaneers team is they're almost trying to be like the Warriors of the NFL kind of. They're starting this dynasty. They bring in Gronk. They bring in Brady. They had all this talent last year. They just needed the right people to fully bring it together. And it will be interesting to see what happens. And that's why I'm so invested in it is because I really want to see what happens. And right now, I can say they're one of the best teams in the league. I guess that makes them Super Bowl contenders, but that's a hesitant Super Bowl contenders.
And I will say this about their division real quick before we go. Don't sleep on Atlanta. Because they brought in Todd Gurley, and Julio Jones, as we know, is always explosive, and Calvin Ridley. I'm just saying they haven't been great in recent years. Their last good season was in 2017 when they went to the playoffs, but the Philadelphia Eagles eliminated them. But don't sleep on Atlanta, in my mind.
And I think
Gurley.
Atlanta finished, it was like 5-2 last year, or 6-2 their last few games?
Yeah,
Something
they
like
had a
that.
very strong end to the season.
So we'll see. That was also trying to save Dan Quinn's job. So we'll see how things play out. But short answer, yes, I think the Buccaneers are Super Bowl contenders.
I agree as well.